welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. And it's all about a striker. Yes, a striker who is injured at the minute. Surprise, surprise. Who is that striker? Callum Wilson. If you were playing Guess Who, you'd throw everybody down but Callum Wilson, because injuries and Callum Wilson seem to go together like beans on toast, sadly. Yes, some breaking news from journalist Joel Bland on Twitter about Callum Wilson. Or X as it's called now, I still call it Twitter. But yeah, so the news about Callum Wilson was quite disappointing actually. So he's obviously out with his latest injury, which is a pectoral injury, which probably keep him out for about 9 weeks, I think. So I don't think we're going to see Callum for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. I think Callum will try and work to get back to fitness for the end of the season, mainly because he wants to try and have a last-minute run at the England squad for the Euros, which I don't think he'll get into, to be honest with you. Now, Ivan Toney's back scoring, and obviously Ollie Watkins is doing well. I don't think Wilson will be on that plane whatsoever, but he probably will give it a go to see whether he can get himself into contention for the England squad. But the story about Callum obviously is about Newcastle United, and it looks very much like he's going to be leaving in the summer, even backed out of buying a house apparently, which shows you more and more evidence that he doesn't want to be here and he wants to leave in the summer. But apparently tensions are high, because in January Wilson was so adamant that he was going to leave, going to Atletico Madrid, that he was pretty much packed his bags by all accounts. And playing devil's advocate for a second, I'll get into what I think about Wilson in this whole situation in a minute. But playing devil's advocate a little bit, you're 31 years old, you're not getting any younger. You're obviously on the periphery of the England squad. You're a good Premier League striker when you're fit. But at 31 years of age, you maybe got about 2 or 3 years left in you. Callum Wilson, that many injuries that he's had, it's took a real toll on his body. The more injuries he gets, the longer he takes to get back, the quicker he's getting injured again. So at 31 years of age, the opportunity to go over and play for Atletico Madrid and La Liga, play Champions League football regularly, push for the title over in Spain. I kind of understand why he might be a bit pissed if he thought that deal was going on, and then obviously it all fell away to shit. So I kind of half understand that. But as a Newcastle fan, I'm thinking to myself, why don't we just get rid of him and go get another striker in January then? If he was that adamant he wanted to go, then just fucking move him on. Take the 18 million quid and reinvest in buying another striker. Go and buy yourself a 40, 50 million quid striker on a 5-year deal and break it up over 5 years for financial fair play. I don't understand why we've hung on to a player who doesn't want to be there. I really don't. Alexander Isak is our number one striker right now. When he's fit, when he's firing, no doubt about it. And Callum is number 2. Now, the story is Callum is got an opportunity to stay at the club. I think the club are interested in keeping him. That's probably because of the long-standing nature between him and a relationship between him and Eddie Howe, and the fact that when Callum's fit, he scores. He's got 46 goals in 107 games or something for Newcastle. His goal-scoring record is phenomenal when he's fit, but that's always a caveat with Callum Wilson. When he's fit, and he gets fit and he scores goals, he looks really good, and then 5 or 6 games later, he goes down and you go, fuck, here we go again, and he's out for 8, 9, 7 weeks or whatever it is. He's never just out for a game or two. It's always loads of games. And every time he's playing now, Callum, you're always wondering what next. When's he going to go down next for another injury? When's he going to be out? As a character, he's a brilliant character. I love what he does with Antonio and his banter and all that stuff. I think he'll be an unbelievable pundit or somebody in football media when he does eventually retire. But I don't think we'll see Callum in a black and white shirt probably for the rest of the season. I don't think he'll get back from this injury, and even if he does, he'll probably pick up another one, so he won't want to jeopardise his move abroad in the summer. So Atletico Madrid may come back in from, maybe some other teams over in Europe will come back in from, because when he's fit, he's a great striker. But Saudi Arabia seems to be the preferred destination, or the most likely destination for Callum now. Listen, the whole thing about Saudi Arabia is basically quality over quantity, and quantity of cash. Callum Wilson could earn more in 2 seasons in Saudi Arabia than he would get in probably 5 or 6 years in European football. So you can't blame the guy if he takes the money and he goes. Maybe because we've got the links to PIF, maybe we can do some kind of a swap around deal and get ourselves a striker back. In exchange, maybe something like Alexander Mitrovic. I know he's a nutter, but he can score goals and he stays fit. So maybe there's something there as an option. But I think Callum's time at Newcastle is done. He's been a great striker for us when he's been fit. His goal scoring record is right up there. I think his goal to game ratio is only bested by Shearer at Newcastle. So you've got to put some respect on his name for what he's done in a black and white shirt. But I don't like the way this is played out in terms of the player and the club. If the player wanted to move, if the player had his heart set and moved to Atletico Madrid, go and get another striker. Why did we leave this so late? Why did we fuck around? Was it to do with Dan Ashworth? Was it to do with the friction between him and Eddie behind the scenes? I just don't know. But I think the time is done now. Callum's been a great servant. He scored plenty of goals for Newcastle. We're going to think fondly of him. This story isn't particularly good. It kind of taints his legacy a little bit at Newcastle, but I think Callum Wilson will be gone in the summer. I don't think he'll hang around to be a third choice striker, but also on the positive side, it tells me that the club are going to sign another striker in the summer, because there's no way Callum would even itch for a move in January or talk about a move in the summer if he thought he was going to have a good chance of starting either alongside Isak or ahead of Isak. So to me, I think we're going to go off and sign ourselves a decent striker, a big name striker, maybe somebody, from experience possibly in the shape of a Vlahovic or even Osimhen maybe. I know the money's ridiculous, but listen, there's a lot of money coming in for sponsorship in the summer, so you just don't know, do you? If the PIF want to go big and want to really go at something, maybe they do put a bid in for Osimhen. Why not? Why couldn't we get him? Or maybe it's somebody like Benjamin Sesko, who's got a very low release clause coming in the summer. So maybe Wilson's thinking, I don't want to be third fiddle behind any of these two, him and Isak, and that's why he's itching for a move. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Callum Wilson. Are you disappointed about the way this is playing out? Have you got some concerns about the way the club have handled this potentially? Would you want to see Callum stay, or would you be happy to see him go? And if you do see him go, who do you want him in as a replacement? Lots of questions there, but we want to know what you got to say. We always like engaging with you. Smash a comment in, like and subscribe. We're really close to 7,000 subs now, guys. You can help get us there. Refer us to family and friends. We're very young in this whole YouTube game, but to get to where we are, 6,700 subs in such a quick time is absolutely amazing. Me and Mark love it, and we always appreciate you guys for that as well. So have a cracking day wherever you are, everybody, and we'll catch you later. Cheers, bye.